What's up YouTube? Back to another video. Today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be just finishing up this off-road LT1000 mower that I own. And like what we're going to be doing in this video is we're going to be tightening up the cast iron axle, removing some parts that we don't need, welding and completing the exhaust. We're going to be tightening up my tire and then also completing the transmission and what's left to be done on it. Alright, let's get right into it. So starting off on this thing is that my transmission up here, axle just has a little bit of play, so we're going to try to solve that. And then also my tire is loose a bushing, a couple washer or two, and my bushing's getting worn out. And then also we're going to make some steering stops because my last one did not work. And then we're going to be grinding off these, cutting off these, bracing the bumper, the front and rear bumper, getting rid of this thing because it's just a little bit too quiet. And then also, back tire has some play. It's missing a washer, and play is not good. So we're also going to be completing my transaxle mount that came loose, and also putting some belt guards in here. Okay, so let's take off my tire. Got the lock washer off and everything now, and the seat clip. Now that with my tire off. Oh wow, that one's still aired up. Key fell out. Alright, we got my transmission bolts and a longer transmission bolt, so that way my transmission bolt cannot fall out when I'm going about 28 miles per hour, hitting all the bumps in the field. And then we got some new washers to space the tires so that it doesn't bank back and forth. And then those are the old washers, so pretty oiled because of the transaxle. And my lock ring doesn't look too bad, so we either got this mount to work with, which is a little skinnier, but I'll brace it if I do end up using it. Just brace it all the way through. And then this one, I'm probably going to end up bracing still. I just got to see if it'll fit, and then I got to weld it to the frame instead of just bolting it. Alright, so let's try that out. So I just got my transmission mount welded. I cut it off and then mounted it on the upper bolt so that I can create my skid plate using that mount and that mount. That way it's just going to be kind of an angled piece of metal that won't let anything hit the transmission. And then next I need to cut off my shifter, ends of my shifter, and then get the brakes done after we flip the mower and cut off one of these brackets, and probably do some more belt guard stuff. Let's dig right in to cutting off those parts, the transaxle part, and making belt guards for it. Pretty much it for my belt guard. Took a little bit just to weld it, so I've pretty crappy weld, but at least it keeps the belt from coming off. So that's the first belt guard. It would always keep coming off this pulley, which would cause it to come off that back pulley back there. So when we flip it over, that's what we'll do. So now what we're gonna do is put on the tire and add those spacers and washers to it. Is on the ground. So line up the keys, take my key, clean it off. And my key, by the way, doesn't even look too bad. Normally they're all bent by now. I mean, back end of it's a little bent. Not too bad though. And obviously there still is some slop in the key. So now let's get my new washers. Install all of them. So I'll probably install one first. And then, so I have one small one behind there, two of the larger ones, and then one super skinny one at the front. And that's just how you do it. Take my pliers, pinch it back on. So I have to record my videos, so it's a little difficult. There we go, all snapped on. Hardly any play. And then now what I'm going to do is just put on the cap back on. Just keeps from dust and water getting in there to rust your tire. Normally, I get one end on, squeeze the other end. It's able to go on pretty easy, because this is a softer one, it's not too hard. So sorry I didn't show any of it, but got my tire on, no play, cut off my old exhaust. Oh man, the camera's being all glitchy. And then I welded this back together right here, so now it's super strong. And then I welded that extra mount up there, just to help secure the exhaust in place, and now it comes out there. So now what we need to do is flip it over. Got my belt guard there, over there. So now what we need to do is flip it over, transmission mounts, brakes. We're going to take off that tire, and then this tire seems a little loose, so we might put a washer in it once I get it down on the ground. And then the exhaust is pretty much complete. Everything underneath is pretty much complete, except when we get it flipped over, we're going to cut off that other bracket. And just a few more things. Alright, so let's get it flipped over. So that's pretty much it for this episode. If you liked it, please like it, and if you didn't like it, hit the thumbs down twice, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. It really helps support the channel. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it, and I guess I'll see you in the next episode.